It is Thursday, June 5th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. SP3, I hope you're ready to do a 4-hour and 11-minute show today. We're going to go 1 minute longer than AEW. 4 hours, not enough. 11 minutes longer today on In the Weeds. Is everybody ready for a 4-hour and 11-minute show here today on Thursday, June 5th? Are you ready, SP3?
I mean, AEW can go a 4-hour live free pay-per-view. Neither can we.
What do you mean? We're gonna do it. We're going 4 hours and 11 minutes today, everyone.
No, we're gonna do our time, and then we're gonna throw some people from ROH on here, Ring of Hallucinations on here in the second.
That's you. That's you though. You're ROH
in the second and third hour. Nah. We're gonna put somebody else on here. We're gonna put people in the chat on in the second and third, in the third and fourth hour. We're gonna throw them on here, and they'll do the rest of the show for us.
We'll get Henry. Henry's always an AEW supporter, and Matthew's always an AEW supporter as well. We'll get them. They can do the final 2 hours of the show. We'll not be going 4 hours today. We'll be going our usual 2 hours. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. You know what? You got so much wrestling last night. Maybe we just do a little less with everything. You don't
have to do much, right?
We don't need to do, no offense to Alex Pulowski and every other person who reviews every wrestling show in the world. We don't need to do a show that reviews the show that is longer than the show that you watched. If I want to watch a 2-hour show, I'll just watch the actual show instead of the review show. No, we'll review the show.
Today's going to be a rare occasion where AE Ramble is going to go shorter than Dynamite.
We're gonna do a tight 30-minute Dynamite review. That's it. That's all we're gonna give to Dynamite. Guys, if you're here, leave a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out. Let's see if we can get there's the fireworks. All right. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Leave a super chat, get your question, comment, statement read on the air. Subscribe to the channel, tap the bell for notifications, all of that fun stuff. And we already got a super chat. I'll hold on to it, just until we dive into the AEW talk. I mean, it is Thursday, SP3. It's finally the day that I've been dreading, but also waiting for. A week since my Oklahoma City Thunder have played the game of basketball. Over a week, since Wednesday is when they wrapped last week. How should I be feeling?
You should be cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic is the right way, instead of your natural pessimism and misery. That combination.
Oh, my internet sucks. Clearly,
it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I did see you freeze for a bit, but I fill in the blanks. But yes, we're gonna be cautiously optimistic. Jeremy is gonna be rooting for his team, the team that he's been riding with for nearly 2 decades. While I'm gonna be rallying for the same team, but for different reasons, because I need to be right. My gift and curse in life is that I'm usually right. And when I'm not right, I strongly disagree that I'm not right. But that's usually my gift and curse, that I'm usually right. And I need to confirm my new nickname to go along with the new media Forbidden Door, to go along with Jerome YouTube, is S Predictions 3. The P in SP3 stands for predictions, because I'm usually right about them, and I need this one to be correct. So in the weeds Tuesday Thursday duo will be 4 for 4 in the last 4 NBA finals.
I need you to be correct as well, just for my own sanity and my own happiness. Because if you are wrong, that means bad news. This show might be over. It's going to be you and Joel for a week if this does not go well.
do that to either one of us.
It's not up to me. It's up to them. It's up to them if this doesn't go well. I legitimately might have to take a week off. I'm definitely gonna have to take the show after off. I can't be here. The show after. And then after that, we'll see. I've already told my wife.
Man, you gotta hear Pat McAfee every Monday be like, "Oh, my Indiana Pacers won the NBA championship."
I'm good at tuning him out anyway, so I don't really pay attention to what he says. Yeah. So, but yes, you're right. I will have to sadly deal with that. Like, just the fallout of everything just all sucks if your team loses, especially the final, especially if you're favorite. It all sucks.
Yeah, I think like going to the finals and losing is a greater pain than losing in the first round.
Oh,
like, I don't think I've ever felt the same pain for like, I think out of all the times that my team have lost in the playoffs, I think the time that hurt the most, that I literally remember crying. I was like 16 years old at the time, and I cried when the Lakers lost in 2004 with that super team with old man mailman, old man creepy man, and the old glove with Shaq and Kobe. I don't think I've ever been more depressed about my team losing in the playoffs. I think that was losing to the Detroit Pistons was even worse than losing to the Celtics, and I hate the Celtics. But losing to the Celtics in 2008, if it wasn't for the Pau Gasol trade that happened in January, like when trades happened, like I said earlier, when the Lakers got bounced out the first round, I was like, we went farther than I thought we were going to. I didn't think we were going to be third place. And my prediction was we were going to be eighth place because of where we were at the beginning of the season. Yes, getting a trade like Luka Doncic or Pau Gasol in 2008, it changes your expectations. But when you lose, it doesn't hurt that much because you realize that at the beginning of the season, you didn't think you would be here. So it was much worse when we get Karl Malone and Gary Payton in July, go the whole season. Shaq's hurt. Kobe goes on this magical run where he's scoring 40 points, 9 straight games, over 30 points for like 13, 14 straight games. Had one of his greatest seasons up to that point. We make it to the finals, and then we get gentlemen swept, where Kobe shoots the ball horribly. Shaq shows his age a bit and shows that he's winding down, and Karl Malone and Gary Payton were completely inefficient for us. And that came after the 0.3 second shot with Derek Fisher. Like, these memories live in my head still at 37 years old. This is 2 decades ago. At 37 years old, I still remember how that season went. The 0.3 second shot of Derek Fisher on the San Antonio Spurs and making it to the NBA Finals, then to lose in the finals in that fashion, yeah, there's no pain greater than that. So I don't want that for my friend. You've already had to see your team lose in the finals, and I think that one, you will, if compared to how you would feel with this one losing, it will pale in comparison. You are the favorites going in. It would pale in comparison to young Thunder with KD, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook losing to the Heatles, one of the greatest super teams of all time. It's so much different now when you have this all-time team on offense and defense.
I'm not prepared. I'm not ready. I'm ready, but I'm not ready. I'm excited, but I'm not excited. I'm just pre-miserable, and then it's just going to be misery tonight. They just need to win game 1. If they win game 1, I'll feel really good about things, because there's no word like that Denver series. That Denver series took years off my life. I'm going to die at about 40. So enjoy me for the next 2 years. The Denver series, like losing game 1 in that fashion, it's like, nope, this is it. This team's just done. There's no way they're coming back. And then being down 2-1, losing game 3 the way they lost game 3, like, nope, they can't do it. Credit to them. They won the series. They went 7, which dealing with a game 7 was its own type of misery. At least the game itself played out very favorably for OKC and wasn't a drama-filled game. If they just win game 1, I'll feel good about things, because then you're up 1-0. You have home court. But then you got to win game 2 to protect home court. And then you got to get the split. That way you don't have to deal with the home court stuff. But having home court is obviously a big deal. Just win game 1. I'll feel so much better about things. I think people are underrating the Pacers. That's what I hate right now is all the experts, and by the way, like the people that I follow, I don't listen to ESPN and what they have to say. I don't care what they have to say. I read and listen to who I consider smart basketball people. And they're praising the Pacers, but they just look at the Thunder like, yeah, the Pacers got some answers. The Thunder got way bigger answers. Like they have too much talent, too much firepower, too much defense. The Pacers essentially need hot shooting, which they can get. They've shot the ball very well in the playoffs. And they need Siakam to essentially be the second best player in the series behind Shea and even above Halliburton, because Halliburton's not the scorer that Shea is. You know, Halliburton could give you like 12 points on some nights, but Siakam's the guy who can get you like 30. So they need Siakam to be
Eastern Conference MVP. Did you see the video? Someone did a video of Tyrese's reaction.
Yeah,
because he thought he was gonna win.
Yeah. Like the Pacers can get that. They could get a big Siakam series. They could get hot shooting. But to expect hot shooting for 4 games and Siakam to play great for 4 games, like that's going to be a tough task against this defense. It really is. Just win game 1. That's all I'm asking. Just win game 1. Let me be somewhat happy tomorrow. But yeah, it's I'm glad it's finally here. It's been so long. It's been so long since they've had basketball, over 2 hours, over a week since, I don't know where the 2 came from, over a week since Thunder basketball. But you're right that it's worse to lose in the finals in round 1. Like you lose round 1, it's like, okay, we just weren't good enough. We just lost. Like, fine. You get to the finals, you're a favorite. You got to win. Yeah. I'll be miserable all these next couple of weeks, everybody. I won't dive too much into it today. We got a lot of AEW to talk about. It is a 0-0 series.
Do we? 4 hours
I mean,
worth.
half that show was just, we got to put some matches on because we got a 4-hour show.
Yo, this is the thing that pissed me off about last night. It's that, like, I went into this week and I was like, yeah, it's going to be a Dynamite episode and a Collision episode smashed together. And then Tony Khan, he got me with the propaganda. And I tried to feed the propaganda to Jimmy Rackaram, and he just said it was propaganda when I was spewing. Because I was like, yeah, you know, Tony Khan went on Twitter. He said he's going to treat it like a 4-hour live free pay-per-view. It was like, he's like, that's propaganda. And then I watched it. I was like, yep, it definitely was propaganda. This is just the Dynamite and a Collision. And the thing is, the Dynamite part of it was great. The first 2 hours of last night's show was a great episode of that. If it's just a 2-hour show, I'm giving it a high 9 to over near 10. I'm just being like, wow, that was a great episode of television we saw last night. But the last 2 hours, man, it was just fine. It was either fine or forgettable. All the bangers are in the first 2 hours. They had some good matches in the second hour, but none of it really mattered. And it was a Collision episode. And if it was just a standalone Collision episode, I'm like, that was a fine episode of Collision. But because it's 4 hours, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to grade this show later on AEW. I don't know. I have to do the averages. I have to be like, what? The first 2 hours is this score. The second hour is this score. You combine them in 1. You divide it by 2. That's how you get the score. But I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that was way. I see Maggie. Good to see you in the chat. Check out me and Maggie on Friday. We're going to do our Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank preview. And she said it was a legit Collision. It just didn't matter. Yes, it was a regular, just bang average Collision episode. Like it wasn't even a really good Collision episode or a great Collision episode. No, it was a bang average mid-ass Collision episode. Except the first matchup of the show. The best thing about the Collision half of the show was the first match and the first angle they did, and then it was a steady decline of quality after that.
Joel and I talked about it yesterday of like, oh, what are you gonna headline with? And I thought Moxley and Briscoe might be the main event, and then Joel thought it might be the 4-way. I was like, if it's actually a Collision, they're just gonna headline with like that trios match or the FTR tag, because that would be Collision. And turns out they just put all that stuff in the second hour. Not the trios match, but the FTR tag was, and then they just threw on random matches in the second hour that were not previously announced. They did treat it like Collisions. Like, here's all the stuff we got for Dynamite, and if you want this stuff that for Collision, tune into Dynamite where we will announce the Collision stuff. And that's what they did. They announced the Collision stuff on Dynamite. The only thing is, this episode of Collision just happened to be 2 seconds after Dynamite went off the air. So you got the Collision stuff. It was a Collision episode. You're right. Somebody said in the chat, I think it was Henry or Matthew. Switching to Max. I don't know if anybody else had this problem. I assume everyone did that watched it on Max. That was so annoying. It was because the Max stream like ended after Kenny had won. And then if you didn't switch it quick enough, like you missed the Okada and Omega angle.
Oh wow.
Because like it shows on the screen, it goes like, oh, this event has ended. And so you got to switch it over. And like I've always complained about switching over to switching to AEW on Max because they don't highlight it enough. You got to go to the sports page, you got to scroll over, like it's never like the first thing you see. So it was the same thing here. It's like I go to the sports page, I got to scroll over. Oh, there's Collision. Okay, now I can click it. By the time I'm there, Okada and Omega are fighting. Like, where did Okada come from? What happened here? So yeah, if you didn't switch quick enough, like I could go back, rewind, it was fine, but it was still just very dumb that it was not just one long stream. Like, you knew it's a 4-hour show. Why am I having to switch over to another event page to watch the second half of the show? And if you're gonna do that, look, maybe AEW didn't know, I don't know, but if you're gonna do that, like, have the break be in a down spot during the match. Have Excalibur inform the fans, like, hey, if you're watching on Max, switch over now to Collision and make sure you don't miss a second of the action. Like, again, maybe they didn't know, maybe they didn't prepare for it. Hopefully next week, now they know that this is a thing, or next week they just have it fixed to where it's like AEW Summer Blockbuster, watch the event. Okay, 4-hour event, not 2-hour. Like, figure it out for next week, because I think a lot of Max people, myself included, were not happy that we had to like switch over the stream and we missed one of the biggest things on the show. Honestly, I mean,
probably the biggest thing on the show outside of the announcement for the matchup that the post-match angle set up. But yeah, I mean, I like the chat is saying, I watched a fight feed since I'm out here in the UK, and the fight feed was smooth. It was smooth. It went right from black screen after Omega wins the 4-way right into the Collision half of the show, and then I got to see the Okada Omega whole post-match confrontation. So yeah, it was smooth over there, and that's why I tend to go with the fight feed. TBS usually is good with that as well. But Max, I know the picture quality is amazing. I've watched it on Max before, and it is exceptional over there. But those type of things is something that they got to, approve upon, and they have a lot of adjustments. If they're doing this again next week, they got a lot of adjustments to make. And I see the chat is saying the main issue that I had with last night's show is they just reverted back to like 2019 to 2020 treatment of the women. Like Tony Khan is a nerd. He must have been a virgin nerd and never liked women in high school or something. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I've
12,
given the theory.
12 minutes across 4 hours. I'm being facetious. I'm joking. I'm joking, ladies and gentlemen. I am joking. But goddamn, the disrespect of the woman. You have one of the most exceptional women's divisions. The only thing that holds them back is the way you book them and the TV time. And you got these people on social media, these fans asking for women's tag team titles. That's not the issue. We don't need another goddamn title. We need them to have more TV time. And no, creating women's tag team titles is not a solution to get more TV time. No, you have a main title and a mid-card title that are in one feud right now. Let's get more TV time for outside things. The TV time that was dedicated to the women, I thought was pretty well done, where you had, an original coming back, you had your new star being built up in a squash match and setting up another match for next week, and then you had the build for the all-in women's title match. Great stuff. There is more women on this roster than has been in a very long time in the history of AEW. You have Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, Athena, Billy Starks. The list goes on and on. You can get 2 more segments and another match, not a squash match, another main matchup outside of what we got last night. It was ridiculous.
So Henry mentions the theory is Tony Khan is a fan of, or was a fan, still is, fan of New Japan, ROH, and ECW, which did not have a lot of women's wrestling. I will piggyback off of that. My theory has always been Tony admittedly played a lot of EWR/TEW and would book shows and put together the shows then. And in those times growing up, women's wrestling wasn't really a thing. So he did not have to book women's wrestling on those shows. If you booked a match on EWR, you made it an eye candy match to pop the number and to boost your overall. That's how the game worked back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Okay. I would be okay with this in year 1. In year 2.
Oh, I'm with you.
You've been doing this for 6 years now. You can't keep booking it like a video game.
I am completely with you. I completely understand that. The thing is, he's been booking AEW like a video game this entire time. That's been a semi-criticism of Tony, is that he thinks everyone's just an EWR person. And this is what led to issues in 2022. Is like, no, these are not numbers in a video game. They are real humans with real emotions, and you got to deal with them in a certain way. You can't just be like, all right, you're fined, and then morale takes a hit, and then, oh, let's bonus everybody. Morale jumps back up, and everything's good in the locker room now. Like, it does not work like that. But this has been my joking criticism, and sometimes I don't think it's a fully joke of Tony, is that it's TEW to him sometimes. And it's not TEW. It's just not. As much as life would be much easier if it just was TEW. It's a great game, and you can do a lot in that game. It's really fun. But yeah, the women's division, and we did have a super chat from Matthew Hooks who says, fellas really love where AEW is, however, not to be the dead horse, but ROH and the women's division, how are we missing the mark this badly irritated? ROH you can give up on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm over complaining about that. The women's division had its best year yet in 2024. And the start of 2025, it was looking good. And he was putting more than a match and a segment on each show. He was given, some weeks would be 2 matches, some other weeks would be more than 1 segment, more than 2 or 3 segments, and then a main matchup as well. Last night was a 4-hour program. And Collision is usually the place where we have more women's matches. He sometimes, a lot of weeks, honestly, this year alone has had 2 matches on Collision. And it's usually, a main match and a squash match. But still, I would have took 2 main matches and a squash match on last night's show, and I wouldn't have the complaint. My tweet talking about the fact that we only got two matches and a segment on the show, which equated to about 15 minutes of the 4-hour program, it got so many likes and retweets because it's an issue that a lot of AEW fans are feeling. Like there is stuff that can be fixed, but this seems like a philosophy change really needs to happen when it comes to the women's division, because that was egregious last night.
Yeah, they couldn't get a working headset for Mercedes. What? You say she's going to be on commentary, and then she was not on commentary.
I'll be honest. It kind of owed that she ate steak.
Oh, it was great. Like, it was a tremendous bit, but it wasn't of their own volition, though, because she was still going to do commentary while eating steak and like having her own table and everything. They said like, oh, Mercedes headset is not working. Like, you couldn't get her a working headset off of this. She's supposed, and I don't know this for certain. Maybe they're just going to run the same bit back twice in a week, which in that case, come up with a different idea. But that she's on commentary next week for the Toni Storm match as well. So they were either going to do the same bit 2 weeks in a row, or they had to make up for not doing commentary this week by putting her on commentary next week. So it was the problem. One of the problems is because your 2 main titles are in one feud now. Where else are you looking at? And they got Tay Melo returning. Fantastic theme that is just a complete copy of Sammy Guevara's theme because it says her name at the beginning.
Tay Melo.
Sammy Guevara and Tay Melo.
Tay Melo.
Those themes. Bless Mikey Ruckus. But those are some WWE ass themes. Honestly,
Sammy Guevara.
I hate that Sammy Guevara theme. I absolutely hate it. What are they doing? ROH? Yeah, I know. They're doing an ROH TV title 4-way at 11:30. I was like, what? What are you doing?
You just did a 4-way for the international title. That was fantastic. And you just say, oh, we're gonna do another 4-way. Christian made the matchup, and it's just everybody who's usually on Ring of Honor. It was basically a mid Collision episode masquerading as a free pay-per-view.
Yeah, you can't call this a free pay-per-view when you put this 4-way on it. It's like that's not a pay-per-view match right there. No. I'm sorry, that's buy-in. If you're putting that anywhere, that's a buy-in match. All right, that is the free portion of the free pay-per-view.
And the first 2 hours was so good. They start off with Will Ospreay. Then it goes from Will Ospreay to timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes on commentary with Mina Shirakawa, and then the good duo of Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Then from there you get Ospreay, MJF, and Hurt Syndicate backstage segment into MJF and Hurt Syndicate. Like, this is star upon star. All the main stars are showing up on the screen. They interrupted by Jet Speed and Commander, and that segues into a banger trios matchup. Then the segments that really didn't. Well, then we had another star because you had Christian backstage setting up this one, which was okay. I was like, Christian's back. I'm happy to see Christian. Let's go lay down somewhere. That was crazy. He was crazy for that. Then. And from there, you get Caster being awesome and hilarious and getting the crowd to chant his stupid chant. And then that leads to Powerhouse Hobbs in a 1-minute matchup. Perfect use of that. Hobbs gets over. Caster got over. Good use of there. And then we finish up with the best match on the show. Like, this is like an 8, 9 out of 10 episode of Dynamite. If it just ends at 10, 12. If it just ends there, we end with Okada and Omega setting up their matchup for All In. It's a great episode of Dynamite. Then we just had to do 2 more hours. Like, whose idea was this?
Warner Brothers. It was WBD's idea to do a 4-hour block because they had the Stanley Cup final on. That was the weird thing. I mean, they had the Stanley Cup final on TNT. Tonight, they theoretically could have just done Collision tonight. Like, you're up against the NBA finals, but you're up against the NBA finals next week on Wednesday.
Exactly. Why not get a sample? Why not get a sample of how much you're gonna get murdered on next week by putting Collision on tonight?
Like,
how
what's
about
on
that?
TBS? What's on TBS tonight? Let's see. TBS, just Big Bang Theory. The all evening, just Big Bang Theory. Like, you run Collision on TBS on a Thursday like 2 weeks ago. They literally just did this. So I don't know why they wouldn't just do Collision on a Thursday here. Yeah, it's Big Bang Theory, and then over on TNT tonight we have National Treasure. So
yeah,
the Nicolas Cage movie.
We could have put Collision.
Yeah, they should have just. Yeah, they should have just run Collision on TBS or TNT tonight. Like, yeah, you're up against the finals, but you're up against the finals next week, and with Wednesday Game 3. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, honestly. Like, it does feel like they were just like trying to experiment with something, and I hope they don't do this again. We don't need 4 hours. We just don't. It's tough to book a 4-hour show. Like, AEW, they at least tried to do 2 separate shows, which in some aspect makes sense. But the problem is when you do that and you front load the entire show, the back half of the show is just going to take a hit. And when the back half of the show is from 10 to 12, which, let's be honest, isn't a great spot to be in, and you're already following 2 hours where you put your best stuff in that first 2 hours, it's just tough to have a strong back half. Like, even if let's say you just flipped this show around, right? Let's say you book it in reverse order. You open with the Paragon match and you go from there. You have the 4-way. I understand you have to move things around to set up and everything. But by the time you get to like the main event, which in this case would be Moxley and Briscoe, like, people are who's still around at midnight to like watch this kind of stuff like that. It's tough to hold the audience for that long. So I understand why you front load the show, but just 4 hours is just it's too much. I don't know why they didn't just put it on Thursday like they've done every other time. A weird call.
Minor tweak: put the Ospreay Leo matchup as the main event of the 4th hour. Like, I understand you think, oh, more people's going to watch at this 10 o'clock spot than at damn near midnight. But that was the best thing on the second half of the show.
And then you close.
It literally was a nosedive of quality from there. Close with Leo and Ospreay and the angle with Hangman cutting that great promo that he cut. And then into the whole stare down with the John Moxley, and that feud, the ongoing story heading into Hangman and Moxley is the best thing going on in AEW. So I don't understand why you don't close with that. Yeah. Closing with the Paragon and Daniel Garcia. Just tell us this is an episode of Collision then. Just say it's an episode of Collision then. Sheesh.
They tried to get you to stick around. But Tony Khan is a huge and important announcement, and
everybody and their mama knew what it was. They were like, yes, the Omega and Kazuchika Okada at All In. Just this the match you've been teasing for about 6 months now.
They also got, and look, they couldn't plan for this, and I don't know how it's gonna affect the numbers anyway. The hockey game went to overtime last night. The hockey game didn't end until like when Queen Aminata was on the screen is when the hockey game ended. So maybe people tuned in after the hockey game. Maybe we'll see a viewership jump during the Paragon match. Like, oh, the game's over. Let's tune into Dynamite or Collision or Fighter Fest because it's still on. But they might get hurt just in the fact that Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final went to overtime. And even if you're not a hockey fan, I mean, people just enjoy watching overtime with hockey. And it was a good game. last night. I don't know what the viewership numbers, where it's really going to hurt, probably not so much in America. Canada, they're screwed. They're completely screwed with the Canada viewership numbers because you have an Edmonton team in the final, you have an overtime game. I don't know what their viewership numbers in Canada are going to be, but I don't think they're going to be that great.
Yeah, guys, because I see Matthew saying, still think AEW is in a good spot. No one said AEW is not in a good spot. Everyone's we are directly giving criticism to last night's show. That doesn't last night's show and the issues that it had doesn't mean that AEW is not in a good spot anymore. They are on an upswing. They're still on that upswing, and there was a lot of great stuff on last night's show, like I said. But the 4 hour, if you're gonna do a 4 hour show, then you're gonna have some stuff that didn't click, didn't work. WWE shows us that every week on Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown is a 3 hour show that they never seem to get right, and it's been 6 months since it's been a 3 hour show. The AEW is doing a 4 hour show 2 weeks in a row. We are giving the criticisms for this show, so hopefully. And then if you express your opinion on social media, it seems like TK is very in tune with what the fans are saying, then maybe we could see those improvements in the summer blockbuster.
He's not in tune with what I wanted because he had an important announcement. And I said, well, if it's not Jack Harlow, then what are we doing? Oh, cool. You announced the match that you've been teasing for like 2 months now. Great. You can put that in a tweet, Tony. And you literally did put it in a tweet 2 seconds after the announcement was made. Don't tease me with a huge, important, major, earth-shattering announcement, and it's just a match. You announce a match every single day. It's a match. Okay, cool. It's Okada and Omega. Great. I've seen this match 4 times. This ain't even a once-in-a-lifetime first-ever matchup. It's a great match. It's arguably one of the greatest rivalries in wrestling history. Their 4 matches
most important of the last decade. It's the most important rivalry of the last decade.
It's arguably some of the greatest matches of all time. I get it. It's a huge
and
match.
I would argue it is the greatest matches, the greatest series of matches anybody's ever had.
I get it. It's a big match. It's not big enough to give me, oh, Tony Khan is a big announcement. You announce a match. Big deal. You announce matches all the time. You announced you announced Queen Aminata and Thekla like 2 seconds after this. That's a big match. That's first time ever. Never before seen.
First time ever matchup.
Give me this big announcement, and then you just announce a match. Get out of here. This nonsense match announcements. Kenny Omega and Okada, as suspected since Kenny returned at World's End and confronted Okada, they will be facing off at All In. We're going to talk about this match like a lot over the next month and a half, but it is official. It is winner take all. So they are going to consolidate the titles for the time being. You know, they're not unifying these titles. Everyone gets that, right? I just want to throw water on this because I think people are like, oh, they're going to unify. I don't think so.
They do. I would hope they do. I know. I don't think so either, but I would hope they do.
The Continental title gets defended in the Continental Classic. So it's going to be defended there. I think that's where they end up splitting them off, by the way, is maybe whoever wins this match, they put both titles on the line moving forward. But then whoever's the Continental Champion, I don't think they're going to win that tournament. And then whoever wins the Continental Classic will become the Continental Champion. And then whoever goes into that as the International / Continental Champion, they'll still have the International title. I don't think this is what we thought with Eddie Kingston when he won all these titles. He's like, oh, they're going to consolidate. Nope. Eddie Kingston just had 3 titles and he just lost them all at various times. I don't think they're consolidating anything.
He slowly but surely lost all those titles, like one by one, too. It was like first he loses the Continental title to Okada. Then he lost the ROH World Championship to Mark Briscoe. Then he loses the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship to Gabe Kidd. Like they just steadily took all the aura of winning the first ever Continental Classic. Within like 3 months of him winning the tournament, he lost all those titles.
Yeah, I don't think they're combining these folks. Sorry. It's going to be the same thing. Well, not quite the same thing with the women's division because the TBS title is not on the line. But because I think Mercedes is going to win that match, we might see one person have 2 titles, but they're not combining these things. They're talking about adding more titles. They don't want to get rid of titles. They want to keep adding. That's it.
We shall see. We shall see what happens there. But yeah, I'm very excited for the matchup. I'm actually doing a series on the True Hill Heat Patreon where I'm going to be watching every Okada Omega matchup ahead of All In, starting with the first one.
You know what you should do? This is a terrible idea. I don't actually recommend it, but I'm going to recommend it.
Still do it, yeah.
So me and Sammer did this a while ago. I know you're not like a huge UFC fan, are you? I feel like we've never talked.
I used to. I used to watch UFC.
So there was a trilogy between Forrest Griffin and Tito Ortiz, and they had 3 fights. They were
this is when I was watching UFC.
Okay. They were all like fine fights. They were kind of close. They were fairly competitive fights. And we decided, we had this great idea. We're going to watch all 3 of these fights. They all went to 15-minute decisions, mind you. We're going to watch all 3 of these fights in a row and treat it as like one giant fight. That was our brilliant plan that we had. By the time this 3rd fight started, we were like, this idea is the worst idea in the world. This is terrible. These fights suck if you watch them all in a row. So I don't recommend this, but my suggestion to you, and this will be a lot better because these matches between Okada and Omega were actually really good compared to these fights between Griffin and Ortiz. Watch them all in a row and treat it like a 4-hour wrestling match.
It's basically a pay-per-view. It's 3.5. That's 3.5 hours between.
They treat it like a 4-hour like wrestling match because there's how many falls? Because there's the 3 matches and then there's 2 out of 3 falls.
The first match is about 47 minutes long. The second match is 60 minutes long. The 3rd match is 28 minutes long, and then the final matchup is about 65 minutes long.
All right. So you can just treat it like a best out of 7 falls match, since there's about that many falls.
No, I'm trying to get more content for our Patreon, so I'm gonna do one at a time. Maybe I'll record it as one, and then I'll release it as individual. But Jimmy Macaram has agreed to watch it. He's only watched the first Okada and Omega matchup, and he wants to watch the rest of them before All In. So he's gonna watch the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th match with me.
Did he like the first one?
Yeah, he doesn't think that it's like worthy of like being like the greatest of all time. I think he's like, he told me he gave it like 4 3/4 just to be a jerk. He didn't want to give it even 5 stars. But yeah, he said he agreed that he wants to watch it with me. So I'm gonna do that series. I was gonna say we should talk about every match every week ahead of All In.
I mean, we could probably do something like that. I got to go back and rewatch them because I have not.
I'll work around your schedule. We can watch the first one together. I don't have anyone to watch the first one with me.
Okay, we'll figure something out. You know, these next couple of weeks are gonna be tough for me. SP3. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I know.
We'll figure it out, though.
I mean, next week is somewhat slow week because the only thing on the weekend is Dominion. But I know with NBA Finals, I know that's what you're talking.
See,
about.
like technically, like Sunday would be good, but Sunday's game 2, so I can't do it on Sunday. I gotta be, wrestling cannot be my priority.
We still have to do reality rumbles. We haven't done it in like 2 months, I think.
Well, Cher hasn't watched a single episode of you.
Thank you. That was my whole. That's why I asked that in our chat. Pull back the curtain a bit. I asked her because I was gonna suggest, we should do another reality rumble, but then she said I haven't watched you yet. It's like, we're not gonna do like even an hour-long show talking about the finale of the challenge that happened like a month and a half ago.
I haven't watched the finale yet because I said I wasn't watching it until Cher watched you. So I have no idea who wins this.
I love the embargo. This is an embargo that you got. All right, let us know in the chat. Since Greg Carter started this, let us know in the chat what's your favorite Okada Omega matchup in the chat.
All right. I should rewatch them ahead of All In. I don't know if the wife has seen them. Is the thing. Like I don't know if she's actually watched them because she just typically watched WWE, and I don't think she watched like a ton of New Japan before she met me. And like she still doesn't really watch New Japan unless I just have it on and she happens to be awake. So I don't know if she's seen them. So maybe she'll watch them with me. But she might like that they're so long because she likes the Brett and Shawn Iron Man match. Oh, she might.
Yeah, my missus likes that too. I might watch one of the matches with my missus, even though she doesn't like Kenny Omega.
She doesn't like Kenny Omega. Wow.
She doesn't like Kenny Omega.
Why not?
She doesn't like the Elite. You know where her alliances lie, where she used to work. Where her family used to be a part of the management. So
fair. Kenny Omega, like even if you don't like his wrestling style, like I don't know, he's at least like a likable dude.
Yeah.
So all right, fair, but I understand. I get it.
Yeah. Ironically, she's a Will Ospreay fan. Like that was like the first match we ever watched together was the Ospreay Shingo Best of Super Juniors finals.
Okay. Omega and Okada going down at All In. There's only 3 matches announced for this show. What if they announce no more matches? We got 3 big matches. This is what we're selling it on right here. The rest is just like a giant casino gauntlet. I pitched this show going 48 hours. I think they can pull it off.
There you go. Okada and Omega just try to outdo all 4 previous matches by going 4 hours.
Yeah, what if they go 48 hours? Just those. They
go 48. Oh my god, that would be like the most epic wrestling match of all time. They go a 2-day war. They're just drenched in sweat by the second day.
They gotta have like breaks in between though. Like it's like I mean, look, I'm for it. But they both agree to like a 5-hour sleeping period, and then
5-hour sleeping period.
Yeah. And then like awesome. And then after like the fight, like Kenny wakes up first and he tries to pin Okada, and then Okada kicks out though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like it. I dig it. Yeah, they take cat naps. Kenny can cuddle with his cats during the nap portion of the show.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. They should bring the cats out. Has Okada got pets? Okada a big pet guy?
We can find him. We can get him some pets. Some pets. Like,
Okada just has dogs just because to counterbalance the cats.
Oh, yeah. That is true. And to really drive home the rivalry because Kenny's a big cat guy.
Yeah.
I like this. Makes sense. I loved the 4-way last night with Kenny Omega, Mascarita Dorada, Claudio Castagnoli, and Brody King. I thought that everybody found a way to kind of stand out. I was really going into the matchup. The only person I was kind of unsure of is Claudio, because Claudio's kind of been hit or miss lately to me. I love Claudio. I've always been a big Claudio fan since I saw him wearing a button-down shirt and a tie back in the Ring of Honor days when he had the ponytail and everything. I've always been a big Claudio fan. As of late, like his matchups with like Cope a couple of months ago, and he just seems like he kind of has he goes on his Okada mode where sometimes he's not going to put in the same effort that he usually will do if he's versing somebody that's on a top level, but he was in there with top level guys. Like I never have any question about Brody King. I thought Brody King was probably the MVP of the matchup. How he started bleeding, I don't know, but it's Brody King, so I was with it. Even half dead, Brody King was a standout, and he brought that fire, and he made Claudio feel more alive. Like their horse fight moments in the matchup really made me remember that their great matches in the Continental Classic over the last 2 years, and they brought that in this matchup. Loved them going back and forth. Loved the Claudio swing, him doing the neutralizer to him. Brody just basically throwing people on top of each other like that DVD in the corner on Dorado into Omega. I thought Masquerade Dorada, though, he was the standout in the finishing sequence of the show. When he just started going nuts, doing the flips, doing the Hurricane Rada on Claudio onto Brody, just doing all, and then the finish of Omega catching him when he tried to do the Dragon Rana, catch him in midair, transition him into the One Ring Angel. That was so well done, so well timed. Kenny Omega was great, as he has been this entire year. His comeback has been exceptional. He has not missed when he's been given a big opportunity for a big matchup, whether it be last night at Fyter Fest, whether it be Dynasty, whether it be his contributions to the Anarchy in the Arena, the tremendous matchup with Konosuke Takeshita at Revolution, the incredible tag team matchup at Grand Slam with him and Ospreay versus Proto Shida. He has delivered time in, time out. Love the ongoing diverticulitis bit of every one of his matches, where everyone has to hit him in the gut and he just sells it like crazy. Oh man, this was an awesome match. This was definitely my match of the night last night.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, we're trying to deal with something, and in the news portion of things, the 4-way was fantastic. I get with Kenny Omega, and again, I understand why your significant other does not particularly care for him, but he's so good. He's so good.
So good. He gets the little things so well. His layout of his matches, the storytelling in his matches. It's not like you would get like, oh, he's not from WWE. He doesn't know how to tell a story in a matchup. No one in professional wrestling, especially in the past decade, knows how to tell a story better or more often or more intricate of a story than Kenny Omega in his matches. No one's better than that. That's why I'm so looking forward to watch these Okada matches, because the Okada matches, every one of them have a different story going in, have a different story of the whole build of the matchup, how it escalates, how it goes from second to third gear to fourth gear on these matches, how they know how to speed it up at the right time, how to slow it down at the right time, the little subtle details of every moment. He gets it, and you got that a little bit in this matchup, but it was action-packed. You had your 3-way spots, you had your 4-way spots, you had your one-on-ones in the matchup. This was really well done, and honestly, I in retrospect, I wouldn't have mind if this was the main event. This being the main event of last night's show, like the last matchup, I would have woke up at the end instead of feeling like this was a decline from this moment, this matchup, and the post-match with Okada happening. And then, the Ospreay and Leo was really good, and then the post-match was great. But after that, the show went on a decline as far as quality, but this was probably the high point for me.
They couldn't main event with this for the reasons we talked about. They didn't want to put this match at the end of a 4-hour show. Like, you would have at least had a better chance of retaining the audience, and both live and on television. But they wanted to. But they wanted to, front load everything. So I get it. I understand it. It is. It is what it is with that. Otis is the best storyteller. Otis does rule. Too bad
he does.
Don't capitalize on any of his big moments.
The fans always get behind an Otis matchup. It could be a short Otis matchup, a long Otis matchup. Not a lot of long Otis matchups, but any matchup, the crowd gets into it and they get invested. But Kenny Omega, he's my guy. He's been in my like top 2, top 3 favorite wrestlers for over the past decade, but definitely he's solidifying himself as number 2 behind Bryan Danielson with this comeback. This comeback run has been absolutely tremendous so far. So I've really been enjoying it. And another great chapter last night, and we're going to get an even better one, a potential match of the year candidate. I think that this is probably the highest of expectations that we've seen for a quote unquote dream match or a big time high profile matchup on a big stage, probably since Styles versus Nakamura at Mania 34. Hopefully this one goes a lot better as far as the results.
Yeah. I think it will. I think
it will. Because Kenny Omega's at top form, and Okada just showed at Double or Nothing. When he has someone who's at top form and given 110%, he knows how to up his game and give us at least a 9 out of 10 on the Okada give a damn scale.
Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be great, honestly. Like, it'll be great. Okada will step up. Kenny will be Kenny. I think they both know that like this has to be a special match. You don't book this match unless you know it has to be a special match. And they're obviously going to get the time. All In's going to be a 6-hour show. So there's no concern.
Like we're counter programming Saturday night's main event, damn it.
Wallaby says vanilla fumble is what we call it when a guy who claims Time Cop is his favorite movie of all time doesn't know how to keep time. 4 hours with an overrun.
I'm vanilla, baby.
Like Christian was on the show, just cornering Lee Johnson in a match that took place on this show. Still no Jack Harlow song. Cowardly. Absolutely cowardly on there. Can you do? Hangman Page was out there. He saved Will Ospreay from
Crew.
Will Ospreay didn't need help with Crew. Come on. I don't buy it. I don't buy that Will Ospreay couldn't just supercharge up and take both these dudes out. Honestly,
he could have hit the hidden blade on both of them. At the same time.
Yeah. I wasn't buying that one. No. But he did save Will Ospreay from Crew, and then he cut a promo. He says, I don't want or need Swerve Strickland's help. I'll never need his help. I said he'll win the title. He's his own man. And then Jon Moxley confronted him, and Will Ospreay came out with a chair to help him. And then everybody just walked away without incident. And that was that. That was a good promo by Hangman.
Great promo.
And we're getting, Joel called it. I don't know if it's the best move in the world, but we're getting Ospreay and Swerve next week. Thought they should have saved it for All In, but now Now it feels like we're getting Swerve and Ospreay against Young Bucks at All In.
We definitely are. I had a whole back and forth with John Alba, who also said this. I think he said it earlier in the day yesterday. He was like, yeah, it's gonna be Swerve and Ospreay 2 at next week Summer Blockbuster. And I was like, no, the destination should be All In Texas. And he was like, he doesn't see how that's conducive to the Hangman story. I was like, yes, it is. It's conducive. He's trying to Ospreay's trying to beat some sense into Swerve. Swerve's trying to prove that he's still better than Ospreay. They can have their match coming to Jesus moment where they shake hands and then they team up together to help out Hangman in the main event. And he was like, nah, I think it's gonna be Swerve and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. And he even specified, he was like, I'm not saying this is the best idea. I'm saying I'm fairly confident this is what they're gonna do. And he was right. I had to message back later in the day when the match was announced for next week. I was like, well, you called it spot on. I mean, I'm not gonna get what I want, because I was just like, I don't think Swerve and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks screams money matchup like Swerve versus Ospreay 2. I think Swerve versus Ospreay 2 gets more butts and seats at All In Texas, which is a show that they need to sell more tickets for, but they're trying to sell tickets for all these big shows, which they're on a big line of shows. This is like probably since 2021, the most like big show after big special show after special show on Dynamite every week, heading into a big pay-per-view that they've had since the summer of 2021, heading into All Out 2021.
I didn't love on Ospreay's promo just because I don't think you should like call attention to this kind of stuff. It's like if AEW sucks, it's because you're the champion. It's like, okay.
I mean, he wasn't lying though. He wasn't lying, but he also said before that. He was like, the reason AEW is gaining momentum is because of guys like me, guys like Swerve, guys like Hangman, guys like Kenny Omega, like Timeless Tony Storm, and he's right on that part as well. And I wish that he just would have added one word to the next phrase when he did say what you said. He said, if AEW sucks right now is because you're the champion. He didn't say that. He said the only reason AEW sucks right now is because you're the champion. And I think that's bad context to say that. If he said if AEW sucks right now, it's because of you, I think it is much better.
I think it's bad context to say whether it's if or does to say like AEW sucks. Come up with a better phrasing. Just say the reason AEW has momentum, all of these guys. The problem is no matter how much momentum we get, you're holding that title hostage because you want to see AEW in your vision and you will keep running things your way. And we got to take that back from you. You don't need to say AEW sucks at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's dumb phrasing, period. Like
No, you're right.
Come up with I literally just did come up with a story reason why he thinks AEW doesn't have momentum right now, and that it's because of how Jon Moxley is running things. Hey, check it out. The reason AEW can't flourish, like that, I'm fine with that. Or there are ways to go around that, but just saying if AEW sucks or AEW sucks because you have that, like, don't say the company sucks at all.
Yeah,
just don't put that out there.
I agree. I'm not gonna front. Like I didn't react to that. Like I thought Will overall the promo was good, but yeah, I did. That was the only part where I was just like, I don't know about that one.
All right, Gray Stream's popping me. Yo, bruv, your title reign, whack. Your gear, whack. Your crew, whack. Me, bruv, I'm on another level.
It's like you don't like how AEW is right now. Piss off. I like that part. I like them addressing Swerve about Swerve possibly being the threat to AEW and the setup for the matchup at Summer Blockbuster. His hilarious response to the crew to Crew's theme song of "Who's this?"
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
Crew's theme song takes way too long to start.
Look, they gotta, when they do these themes that aren't super recognizable, they gotta do the wide shot with the Titantron. I know it's not the Titantron, but they gotta do the wide shot with the video screen.
The Contron. I call
immediately.
It the Contron.
Yeah. Like that. Like they gotta do that immediately. Because they do Crew's theme and then they do like the shot, like the overhead shot of the ring. I was like, I still don't know who's coming out. Who is interrupting Will Ospreay right now? Can you please, is this a debut? What's going on here? Like, can we get something a little bit to let me know who's coming out here? Because I don't know at this moment. Will Ospreay also should have taken out both members of Crew. I am buying that these dudes were beating him up. Absolutely not at all.
Yeah,
is that their music?
Yeah, I think it is. When the beat finally hits, it's like doom 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 doom. And they had some rap beat under it, but yeah, the match was good though with Leo and Will. I thought they worked really well together, and it was under 10 minutes, and they just went full throttle. And I like when Will wins with something not the Stormbreaker or Hidden Blade. When he wins with like the Styles Clash, I always enjoy it more because then it will matter when he hits the Styles Clash on a pay-per-view matchup and the guy kicks out. It actually means something when he actually beats people with the Styles Clash. So that was good. And then, like I said, I thought Hangman's promo was great. He's gotten that fire again, and it's something that like I've been really seeing like from over on WWE. Someone like Mike Santana's promo on NXT was, man, that was terrific. that promo before the main event matchup. Just you can see the fire. He comes off very believable, and that's where Hangman is getting. He's got that fire back behind him. I think his promo work over the last month heading into the Ospreay matchup at Double or Nothing, it was very well. It was just very superb work of like outlining this character that needs to have his redemption and is trying to complete this redemption arc, and just the fire and the intensity and the passion that he has about wanting to be the man who brings back the AEW World Championship. He's getting the fans to rally behind him and want to see this desperately, see him be the guy. He needs to be the guy to beat Jon Moxley for the World Championship. This whole angle is going really well, whether it be the Swerve and Ospreay part of it, Ospreay trying to get Swerve to work with Hangman and Hangman to work with Swerve, Ospreay having Hangman's back, whether it be against the Death Riders and whatnot, and Hangman now having Ospreay's back because he has his back. I like how everything is coming together with the build to the main event of All In.
Hangman's promo was great. He should win the title, but he's not. And then Darby's going to come down and challenge Jon Moxley.
Don't do this, Rick and Bobby. Don't wish this evil on me.
Why? What do you mean?
We need to all come together as a people, as a community, and we need to all just say, this is what's going to happen. So we can bully Tony Khan into doing it. We just all need to bully as a fan base, bully Tony Khan into making the right choice.
I think he's going to go with Hangman, honestly. Like, I think it would be terrible if he didn't go with Hangman Page, but we shall see. We shall see.
The tag team matchup with Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. It was kind of fine. It was fine. It was solid. I was just marking out of Mercedes Mone freaking eating the steak the whole time, and the steak being well done. You gotta get medium rare, not medium rare. That's too red. Medium.
That's
medium is the like the middle ground of everything.
Yeah, I go medium on my steak. Sorry if that offends.
I get medium well. I like medium well. I like to see it a little bit brown, but not overcooked. Medium well. Medium rare, no. You don't need them to cook it then if you want it medium rare.
Well, I go medium on my steak. Let us know how you take your steak in the chat.
Yeah.
Well done with ketchup, says Louis. Henry goes medium well.
See, this is smart man, Henry.
I can do medium well, but I just do medium because I feel like some places are gonna overcook it anyway. So like most places are gonna overcook before they undercook is what I've learned.
Yeah.
So I go medium, and then like if I get a medium well, like all right, cool. But they're not gonna undercook. Typically.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find a place that does. Obviously, a good place is gonna cook it exactly how you want it, and that's medium. But you never.
I used to be a steakhouse aficionado. I used to be a concierge in New York City, where I went to a lot of free steakhouses. So medium to medium well is where I tend to go.
All right. With A1 sauce, I don't do A1 sauce.
If the steak is good, you don't need A1 sauce.
Yeah, I'm not big on the sauce. Just give me the steak. Yeah,
I feel like you're ruining the steak if you put A1 sauce on it.
Yeah.
Or you need A1 sauce if the steak's not good.
Nah, no A1 sauce. Just straight steak. That's the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Steak and shrimp. Okay.
I get chicken and steak when I'm at a hibachi grill. That's my go-to.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I just go with whatever's on the side. Mashed potatoes, always good, or baked potato, something like that.
Baked
fries,
potato.
fries. Yeah. I'm not pulling up the steak chart. Do we want to pull up steak chart? Hold on.
Oh God!
Just said I wouldn't.
He's like, I wouldn't, but I will.
There's a bunch of different ones. We'll go with the Omaha steak chart. Okay. Because Omaha steak is.
I did have Omaha steak, and I cooked that immaculately. It was great steak.
I've never had an Omaha steak.
Yeah, I think I got it for free from someplace. I don't know. Maybe Chris Jericho's podcast.
Yeah, so you ordered off of Chris Jericho's podcast. He would do those ads every single time, every single podcast. I don't know if he still does.
That was the first time I ever heard about Omaha steak.
There we go. There's the steak.
Yeah, see, rare is too red. Medium rare, little too red still. Medium, that's good. Medium well, really good. Well done, a little overcooked. Well done
is just it's like eating cardboard. Like, I don't want a dry steak. Like, too dry.
That's why Mercedes wasn't on commentary.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, medium, I feel, brings out the flavor the best. This is me personally. All right, we all got different taste buds. We all have wrong taste preferences.
Different
palates. There's a good word. There you go. There's the steak chart for everybody. Henry's saying well done is a crime. Yeah, rare. I don't think I've ever had a rare steak. Why cook it at that point? Just
exactly. That's what I said. Like you don't need to cook it. Just eat it raw. Then.
Yeah. I can't. Rare is too much. I like how it says medium rare is preferred. Fuck you, Omaha Steaks. I'll make my steak how I want.
What are you talking about? Medium is right in the middle. That should be preferred.
Medium. Maybe Omaha Steaks, they're like, oh, our steaks taste best when it's medium rare. Get out of here, Omaha Steaks. This is why I've never had your trash ass product. I don't know if it's good. Omaha Steaks, if you want to sponsor us, you can.
It's actually good.
I love Omaha Steaks. I love Omaha Steaks. Please give us a sponsorship. We'll do it like Peyton Manning does. Get your Omaha, set 1, 2 steaks.
Omaha, blue 42. Get that blue 42. That'll be our promo code. Blue 42. Blue 42. Blue 42 in the weeds. Or Blue 42 ITW.
There we go. That's good. I like that. Come on, Omaha Steaks. Pony up. I'll just take free steaks. I mean, I would prefer like cash, but you just want to like send steaks, that'd be good too.
Yeah.
Next week, we can pull up the coffee chart. Oh, are you a coffee drinker, SP3?
Yeah, I used to be big into coffee. I've cut down at my old age. I've cut down on coffee, but I don't mind getting a coffee. Especially if I'm like going to like Russell Toy Studio for something in the morning, maybe I'll do like a coffee before then. But yeah, I like my coffee light and sweet. That's what I always ask for, light and sweet.
Okay.
And I used to be a barista as well. I used to work at Make My Cake Bakery.
What haven't you done?
Harlem. I told you, dude, before I found this as a career, you know what I hear? Victoria's Secret, door-to-door fundraising. I was a teacher at one point, a teacher at detention schools and juvenile delinquent centers. I did some acting. What else did I do?
I know you worked at a hotel.
Yeah, the hotel was the longest one before this. That was what I was doing. As I started my podcasting career, I was working at hotels. I was a hotel concierge for like 3-4 years, and then I worked hotel front desk. I got promoted to hotel front desk supervisor in January of 2020, and then the pandemic happened in March of 2020, and that threw off my whole hotel career because hotels closed down in New York for number of months, and I was collecting unemployment.
I remember you worked at it when you were on Spotlight. You told us the story of that. I don't remember you ever saying you did barista. You were
well, I worked at Make My Cake Bakery which was a bakery, but like a lot of that, like I used to work the morning shift, so I used to be baristaing. So I learned how to like make coffee, start the coffee, brew it, and stuff like that. The different kind of what people like in their coffee and stuff like that. I got to learn all that stuff from working there. And then like if I worked in the afternoon or the night shift, it was mostly just me slicing cakes, and that's a whole art to it as well, people. People don't understand there's an art to slicing cakes at a bakery. You have to have the measurer that you measure, you put it on the cake, and then you slice it down the middle, and you got a particular slice. Every bakery has their type of like what type of portion of the cake they want done and stuff like that. And that bakery, man, Make My Cake Bakery was expensive as hell. We were selling like $6 a slice for red velvet and stuff like that. It was ridiculous. That was the best thing about working there, though, because I used to get free cakes. I used to take home free cakes.
That's
and that was back when I didn't have the dad bod, and I could eat cakes every day and not gain too much weight. Now I got a dad bod. I can't eat a cake. It goes right to my hips.
I drink coffee. I'm sure people have seen me with coffee mugs every morning. We got our Taylor Swift Eras coffee mug for this morning. Coffee's gone. That's why I just willy-nilly toss it around. I have to have coffee every single morning. Like we got a Keurig and everything. I always do creamer, just vanilla creamer and sugar. Oh yeah, I can't drink. How many
sugars do you take?
Oh, we don't have packets of sugar. We got like a cup, and I just like pour it all in there.
No, I got that. Okay.
I don't know how many it is like total. I just pour it, and I'm like, all right, that seems good. And then I stir it.
Oh, he just pours it. Oh God, that's like infinite amount of sugar until he's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. No, do you taste it first and be like, no, needs one more?
No, I know how good. No.
Okay.
No, I know like how good it is or where it's at to scale for how I take my coffee. I'm more of the creamer than the sugar. I just like add a little bit of sugar, but the creamer I do again, we have a Keurig. It's like Starbucks cinnamon dolce coffee. Hope I'm saying that right. Apologies if I'm not. So yeah.
You ever do espressos?
No. Maybe like once, but no, I'm not a big espresso.
I feel like espressos is like doing drugs on coffee.
I used to do 2 times caffeine. Like Starbucks would have, it was a light blonde roast. I typically go light. Sometimes medium, can't go dark. I gotta really go creamer and sugar if I'm going with like a dark. But usually a medium roast, preferably a light roast. But I'll take a medium. But Starbucks has like these 2-time caffeine Keurig cups that I used to get. And I would need those for like every AEW pay-per-view. I was like, oh God, Tony's going to be up until 3:00 talking at this press conference. I got to have another coffee to keep me going. I was like, now I see why he friggin' can go till 3 a.m. He just drinks those coffees the entire times. But I cut down on those. Now it's just a normal one. So yeah. I think our Keurig is a strong option. I'm not sure. I just stick to what I always press, I'm just like, all right, creature of habit with the button that I press at this point. So that's all I do. But yeah, I have coffee every morning, again, as people may or may not seen on the show. And then for like AEW pay-per-views, I legitimately have like another cup at night. Like I just know it's gonna be a long show, so I got to be up late. So I'm gonna need a coffee at like 8:00 or so to make sure I can keep going for this. That's it.
I just do soda now and have some Coca-Cola.
Okay. Yeah. I don't drink soda. I always drink water. That's what I typically have. Like rare occasions will I have a soda. I had a McDonald's sweet tea the other week, and I miss just having like sweet tea basically every single day. But
I used to have coffee and Red Bull when I worked door-to-door fundraising, because I would have to start at like 8 a.m. in the morning. No, I would have to get up for work at like 5:30, get ready to go out at like 6, because I used to work. This was when I was living in the Bronx, and then I would have to take like a 2-hour train and bus to White Plains, get there at 8, I used to teach sales tips in the morning to my team, and then we would do door-to-door fundraising from like 12 p.m. Eastern into like the evening time, like 6-7, and then get back to the office, file out, and then leave the office around like 8:30, and then I have to do the 2-hour ride back home. So I used to do coffee in the morning, and then before I did my actual knocking on doors, I used to do a Red Bull to have the energy to do that.
Okay. Coffee and Red Bull. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
I used to be jazzed up, man. I used to be like smiling ear to ear, just smiling, giving a lot of energy at the door.
You like shit, what's the name of that movie? Role Models, where they're selling the energy drink.
Yeah.
That's you just hopped up on the energy drink. I don't do energy drinks. I used to do energy drinks a little bit. Same thing. I would just replace like a coffee with an energy drink. And so I was like, oh, okay, instead of a coffee here, I'll just have an energy drink at 8:00 at night so I can stay up for this AEW pay-per-view. But I don't do energy drinks anymore. And
the last time I did an energy drink, shout outs to Vinny Pacifico, sent me some energy drinks.
That's probably the last time I had it too.
Yeah, I still have the box. I only drank like one, and that was because I had to do that post AEW Dynasty review with Alex Pulowski. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need this. This is the only time that I think I'll need this. I think I'm gonna need this. So I drank that, and that kept me up. I was up until 8 a.m. in the morning that day. What a night! What a night that was. I was so upset with the ending of that show.
Anything else from Dynamite Legion?
Dynamite Legion. Mark Briscoe versus Jon Moxley was really damn good. That was a really good matchup because Mark Briscoe is just incapable of having a bad match. And he is now taking the moniker of guy who bleeds a lot in matches from Jon Moxley. We saw the passing of the torch in this matchup because he just came up bleeding. And then that just added to the matchup. The crowd got into it. That was really well done on the show last night. I really enjoyed that despite my reservations towards Jon Moxley. I thought that was really good. Like I said before, I thought the Jet Speed and Commander versus LFI, goddamn, that was a banger. Like I wasn't surprised like midway through where I'm like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. And then Jimmy Macaram messages me. He's like, I'm really enjoying this. And he's shocked. He was shocked at the fact that he was enjoying it because he does not like Speedball Mike Bailey for some reason. Well, mainly because he's a karate guy and he's like, it's not 1985. Yeah. But yeah, he enjoyed that because man, Roosh is a guy that should get way more. We should see him more often because I think he really forgets it's a work. The way he chops people, the way he hits people, it just has that stiffness to it that not a lot of people have out there. Beast Mortos, despite not really liking the new mask, he's always great in any match that he's in. And Dralistico was really good last night. That springboard crucifix bomb was, oh my God. I was like, what the hell? That was insane. And then the finishing sequence, that was a great finish to that matchup. The time adventure into Commander doing the rope walk dive into Kevin Knight with his new finisher, the UFO splash. I like that he's made the change because I know when he first came to AEW, he was doing like a springboard clothesline as his finish. The UFO splash that he really adopted in the Best of Super Juniors tournament, that is the way to go. That is very impressive. It looks good. No one else is doing that type of splash for the finish. So yeah, that was the matchup that probably exceeded the expectations the most. The 4-way matchup was probably my favorite match of the night and the best match of the night. That match was the one that exceeded my expectations the most. I expected it to be pretty fun. I thought it was an absolute banger.
Now we're gonna get Kevin Knight, Speedball, and Commander against Heart Syndicate next week. So, should be good.
Yeah,
should be good watching them MJF wrestling a little bit, and then Lashley and Shelton just tossing around these smaller dudes. It'd be a good clash of styles, though. Like I'm sure they'll all work well together, but good clash of styles with the 3 on Hurt Syndicate and the 3 more junior style wrestlers. So yeah, MJF and Mystico likely at Arena Mexico, which will be good.
That should be MJF, be good. I didn't like his promo too much. I thought it was good, but not as great as MJF usually is.
Fair. I mean, MJF is hit and miss on promos with me, anyway. So it felt like it took a while to get going. Maybe because it was the crowd chants, but like MVP kept trying to tell him shut up, and MJF kept telling him shut up. But like, can you like just start getting to your promo instead of just going and trying to play off with the crowd so much? Like, just
they're trying so hard to make them heels.
They are, and that was the thing. Like, maybe that's the part that I didn't like about it is MJF like doing the Lashley, you're from here. Like, yeah, he left this. I was like, you guys can try this, man, but it just, I don't know if this is gonna work the way y'all want it to, because y'all are like cool heels. So at least now they're gonna be working with like baby faces that the crowd really likes and baby faces that can get a lot of sympathy in how they get beat up. So yeah, that's a good call on there.
Jet Speed, I think, would be good challengers for the Hurt Syndicate. Probably the first good challengers that they would be facing. Despite them being a newer team, I'm much more into that team outside of like every other tag team on AEW right now, outside of like FTR and the Young Bucks. I think that Jet Speed is like right there as far as the teams that I would want to see against the Hurt Syndicate.
I mean, I think that they could easily be the All-In challengers, honestly.
I can see that. Yeah,
it's very possible they do that match at All In, because they don't. That did pop me on MVP's promo. I was like, I was told this is where the best the best tag teams. Where are they at? I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing the same shit, MVP. Where are they?
Like, where are they at? And why would you then give freaking FTR promo time where they don't address that? They don't even say anything about it.
Well,
like,
different show, you know? That was
I know. Even though they were like an hour apart from each other. I thought that was a really good matchup too. FTR versus Atlantis Jr. and Templario. I thought the Luchadors looked really good, mainly because, I've not seen FTR bump that much for anybody in like 3 years. Like, they were bumping all over the place. I'm like messaging Jimmy. I'm like, FTR is on there. We're going to make these guys look like superstars in this matchup. They're just bumping, taking all these freaking luchador spots, the dives to the outside, the springboard drop kick and stuff like that. And they're just bumping like crazy. And I was like, even if, going into the matchup, I was like, yeah, there's no way FTR is not going to win this one. But then I'm watching the matchup and seeing how much they're bumping. I'm like, there's no way they're going to lose this matchup. They're giving them so much that they have to win this matchup to keep credibility.
Yeah. I did, going back to MVP's promo, I don't love that he comes out and he's like, oh, you guys did a good job. You just got your ass kicked for 80% of the match and then won. I was like, can we not bring attention to that? Like, probably not what you need to do there.
Why does MVP want to crap all over everybody?
He does.
And he's standing next to MJF, who, despite being like one of the biggest jerks, he's very good at bigging up the person he's about to face, because he knows that when he beats them, he wants to feel like he beat somebody. So he does a very good job in his own MJF way of talking up anyone he's against. But MVP is like the exact opposite. He just craps all over everyone that he talks against.
Yeah. All right. Now Joel's saying that MVP's his kind of guy. Yeah, MVP just hates AEW.
I can see that. And I gotta ask a question to you, Jeremy.
Oh no.
Why did they split the Don Callis family into the Don Callis family A team and B team on last night's show? Were they that devoid of talent or that against booking another women's matchup that they had to split up the Don Callis family into 2 separate tag team matches?
This ruled because Don Callis is like, Hechicero is part of the family. People are like, what? Why is Hechicero part of this? And I was like, Don Callis got Hechicero in an adoption because Hechicero was, remember, he was aligned with Cage of Agony, Brian Cage, and Gates of Agony. So because he got Brian Cage, he also got Hechicero in that adoption as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why Hechicero,
in that deal with Jake Roberts.
Yeah, he got Hechicero as part of the adoption.
It was a part of the draft compensation for that trade that they
future
did.
Considerations was Hechicero.
Future consideration. It was Hechicero, the young prospect of Hechicero.
All right. Anything else from Dynamite Collision?
Are they going to do Bandito and Hechicero for the Ring of Honor World Title at Grand Slam Mexico?
Grand Slam Mexico. They got a pay-per-view in like 2 weeks. I know.
No, we gotta book. We gotta book all of these big shows as well, and we can't book the matches that we want for All In. We pretty much know what the top 4 matches are gonna be now, because 3 are announced with Hangman and Moxley, Mercedes in Timeless Tony Storm, and Kenny versus Okada, and pretty much. By confirming that Swerve and Ospreay is next week, it's going to be Swerve and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks at All In. So,
yeah. Raven started saying women's tag team titles coming. I mean, Tay Melo returned, and I don't think you need women's tag team titles right now.
No, they don't get no time. They got 12 minutes on a 4-hour show. This is not the solution. More titles. No. Jesus. I just ranted about this earlier. Go back and watch earlier. Not the solution. Women's tag team titles. I know they're probably going to do it anyway, but it's not the solution.
I think they're going to do it.
He's not going to book more women if they have titles. Then he's not going to do it. That is a false equivalency. There is such a thing. False equivalency. More titles mean more women. No, that's not how that works. No.
I think they're going to do it. And the finals are going to be at All In, like legitimately. I think they're 100% going to do it. So, remember the ROH Women's Peer Championship? Remember that?
Exactly. That was supposed to start in the beginning of May. It's June. Hasn't started yet. They've only had a few women's pure championship matches on Ring of Honor television. Ring of Honor, who doesn't even have a women's division to have 3 titles for, yet they have 3 titles.
They're gonna do these women's tag team titles, man. Mercedes and Puppet Monet are gonna win them. They're gonna be the first champions.
I'm so frustrated. They got 1/16 of the time on last night's show, and y'all think women's tag team titles is the solution. 1/16.
Okay, but Mercedes and Puppet Monet is the first champions, though.
Wouldn't mind that.
Come on, that at all. That's good. Or Mercedes and Harley Cameron. Like, just get the title. Harley now, like. What's she doing? Tay Melo's back. Ty J back together. Harley just
she's out. She's out for now. She's taking time off. We've been arguing for months, Jeremy, that they should pair up Harley and Mercedes.
Yeah, that should 100% be the way. Yeah, she should help Mercedes win. She can wear the broken nose mask like everyone else does.
Rip Hamilton.
Yeah. Everyone does it. Harley should help Mercedes beat Tony Storm at All In, and then Harley and Mercedes World Tour.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Right.
And they're gonna do the women's tag team title final at All In, and it's gonna be won by Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Like there's nothing there's like it's literally so predictable, guys. It's like there's no effort being shown here. Like, it's quite obvious that's what they're building to, with the fact that Chris is trying to get forgiveness from Willow. They're going to be forced to be tag team partners like Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit back in 2002, and then they win the titles, but this time they're actually going to be friends. So that's how it works.
Thekla made her debut. She beat Lady Frost. That was a good call by Joel Pearl. He was actually right. He's been right a lot lately. It's kind of upsetting. And then Queen Aminata made the save to set up Queen Aminata and Thekla. Good debut. Good entrance as well.
Yeah.
Got over just on that alone. But strong showing in this squash match from Thekla.
Yeah. I liked how Thekla looked here. I like the finishing move, the death trap. That was really good. The entrance came off like a star. And I like that Queen Aminata came out for her next opponent. I think that will be an even better matchup than what we saw last night. But last night, effective squash matchup. And maybe next week we get the return of Jamie Hayter to get her hands on Thekla for the attack.
Yeah. That was Fyter Fest Dynamite Collision 4-hour electric boogaloo last night. But the real big story of the night, SP3. Jackson Drake, the first ever WWE Evolve champion, the Vanity Project, Jackson Drake.
The Vanity Project, baby. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. We talking C-level shows in the C-suite. Yes, baby. Big time history-making moment on WWE Evolve in the main event. Jackson Drake, a.k.a. Heartbreak Drake, a.k.a. the Carolina Reaper, a.k.a. the wild card of the Vanity Project. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. He got the win to become the historic first ever WWE Evolve Men's Champion, defeating Super Sean Legacy, Keanu Carver, and Idris Enofe. Idris Enofe looked good early on, but he did not last long in this matchup before Keanu Carver destroyed him, put him away. It took two men to put away Keanu Carver. It took the Unaliving, which is a great name for a finishing move, where all it is a running knee strike. It's basically the Regal knee trembler, but in a Psycho knee form. So he takes him out with that, and then Super Sean Legacy hit the springboard 450, and then Sean Legacy and Jackson Drake, the two WWE ID stars, had their final confrontation. Really good matchup the last half of this matchup with Legacy and Drake, and Jackson Drake, an upset win. This looked so obvious, Jeremy, that it was going to be Sean Legacy. I was like, it's got to be Sean Legacy, right? And then when he wins, I was like, oh, really? Let's go. The Vanity Project. Let's go. The agenda has continued. Jackson Drake, Heartbreak Drake, he gets the win, and it made sense because of what we learned earlier in the night. Javon Evans was there to basically give the Evolve Men's Champion to the winner, and he came up on the Carolina scene with Jackson Drake. So they had a nice emotional moment where they gave a big hug to each other. It was kind of like Jackson Drake was breaking character for a bit, and then he just pushes Javon out the way and then poses with Vanity Project. Ding 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. The Vanity Project got gold, bring gold to the ranks. The best faction in WWE today. Yes, move over Dangerous Alliance. Move over Remnants of the Bloodline. Move over Chicken Nuggets, Judgment Day. The Vanity Project. That's where it's at. Put your 2 fingers up in the chat for the Vanity Project. The best faction in WWE today. Jackson Drake, the historic men's Evolve champion. Good match too. I thought this was one of the better matches that's happened on Evolve, that 4-way matchup. Can't believe it. What a night. What a night. Historic. Nothing else on the show mattered. The Vanity Project is all that matters. But we did see more of the Vanity Project as Zeta Steel interrupted Callie Armstrong, the first ever WWE Evolve Women's Champion, in her celebration to kick off the show. She interrupted, as well as Maga the Stallion, aka Nikita Lyons. She came out and basically put her name in the hat to face Callie Armstrong. Then Nikita and Zeta jumped Callie Armstrong, and she was saved by the low-key legend, Natalya. Because Natalya cannot be featured on main roster television. She has to be featured everywhere else. Everywhere else. She's been on NXT enough. She's been on NWA and GCW. She had to come to Evolve. She helped out Callie Armstrong. Vanity Project. That's what it is about. Put your 2 fingers in the chat for the Vanity Project. Just putting that up. Big week for the Vanity Project, who are also spoiler alert before we get through Evolve. I am going to be talking about NXT. I don't think y'all did a good enough job because NXT was basically spilled over into the C-suite because there was a lot of references to my C-suite's favorites. We had LFG representation and Evolve representation on NXT, so we got to talk about that again. But that's before we got to get through Evolve first. We also saw Kylie Ray. She got attacked backstage by Wendy Chu to continue their rivalry. She was interrupted by Chanel Monroe, so it seems like we're gonna get Kylie Ray versus Chanel Monroe coming up. And this Mason Holiday keeps teasing that we're not seeing the real Chanel Monroe. I don't know if she's gonna have like split personalities or something. That would be cool. Just to me, probably just to me, but I think that would be cool. And I don't know what else mattered. Only thing that mattered, Vanity Project. Vanity Project. Let's go. Vanity Project. All right. Now we're going to talk about NXT. What did you guys talk about from NXT? Did you talk about, Mariah May made her debut? What did you talk about? What did you talk about from NXT yesterday? I didn't see all the episode. I saw a portion of yesterday's episode.
We talked about her. She's here. We talked about Trick Williams retaining the title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. NXT was 2 days ago. I don't remember what happened on this show.
It was yesterday. No, it was 2 days ago. You're right.
Yeah, NXT was 2 days ago. Yeah, our show was yesterday, but I don't remember what we talked about on our show yesterday. I don't remember what we talked about on this show like an hour ago. Oh, you can't expect it.
We talked about the NBA.
Yeah, that was much better.
Well, with the C-suite spilled on over to NXT yesterday. On Tuesday, it spilled over to NXT because we had the in-ring debut of Olympic gold medalist, the real deal, Tyra May Steele, getting the job done in the place to be. Booker T, you a fronter. He was not feeling Tyra May on LFG, and now he wanna big her up, saying, she learned a lot. She's gonna be good here. He voted for Zena Sterling. This is some bull BS. What is he talking about over here? He's looking for a new favorite because he knows all his favorites are leaving. Roxanne Perez is on Raw. Stephanie Becker is on Raw. Trick Williams on NXT. On TNA. So he knows he's losing all his favorites. So he's trying to jump on more bandwagons. I heard him trying to jump on the JC Jane bandwagon too. To correct some people, I heard a lot of people on a lot of coverage of NXT. Lainey Reed has not been on Evolve. She is not a part of the C-suite. She is not. She doesn't get access to the C-suite. We've never seen her. We don't know where she belongs. She belongs on NXT level up, which is one level above below C level. So that's like a D level show. We only talk about C level stuff. C-suite, you only belong to C level. She hasn't made it to C level. She's already got to B level with NXT. She skipped the whole level. She skipped the C-suite, so we can't talk about her. Then what else happened on the show? Oh, Jasper Troy, the Reaper, the monster, Jasper Troy. He's gonna get his shot at the NXT champion. Go bring that to NXT. Evolve Men's Championship, Evolve Women's Championship, LFG Championship, and the NXT Championship, all in the C-suite. I can't wait. That's Speed is D level. Speed is D level. only people on the Bird app or the X app see that stuff. E level, yeah, that's fine too. Just not C level. C-suite, we only talk about C level stuff. And of course, we had Super Sean Legacy, who's getting Jeremy, we getting the NXT North American Championship too. We get all the gold in the C-suite. We get all the gold in the C-suite. NXT Championship, NXT North American Championship, all coming home to the C-suite. Oh man, this is gonna be. We're gonna call it C stands for championships in the C-suite, baby. It's a wrap out here in these streets. But yeah, Super Sean Legacy, he gets a shot at the North American Championship next week on NXT. He interrupted Ethan Page, Laredo Kid, and Javon Evans in the opening, the North American Summit. Super Sean Legacy came out, and then we had a big surprise. One of the biggest debuts in NXT history. The Vanity Project is here. Yes, Swipe Right has been here before, but not not 3 members of the Vanity Project. Because it just when it's Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes together, that's Swipe Right. That's not the Vanity Project. When it's 3 of them, yes, I got 3 fingers up for the Vanity Project. There's 4 fingers up, but 4 fingers up for the Vanity Project. Jackson Drake, the future WWE Evolved Men's Champion. He had already won it by the time he came on NXT, so we're gonna go by that because it's taped in advance. But they showed up. They were teamed up with Ethan Page, and you know why? You know why, Jeremy? You know how much percent I was that the Vanity Project should have won this matchup or could have won this matchup? Hundo. It's a hundo, bro. It's a hundo. Hundo. Get your hundos up. Hit the 2 fingers for your hundos. The Vanity Project were on NXT, and it was a beautiful thing. They stole the show. Best match on the show. I don't care what anybody says. I only watch C-suite stuff. I only watch these matchups, so I don't care what else happened on the show. This was the match of the night. Even though Laredo Kid, he kind of botched that dive to the outside. Damn. And he only got one moment to really shine, and then he botched that stuff, and then he was pretty much out of it the rest of the way. They gave the spotlight to Dragon Lee, who was only a replacement for Ray Phoenix. It was weird. It was weird with all that. But Jackson Drake, he made his NXT debut. Good showing from the Vanity Project. This was like the C-suite edition of NXT this week. I loved it. I loved NXT. 5 stars, no notes.
Your excitement for these C-level shows is always amazing. I respect it. I love NXT because stuff just happens. Does it always make sense? No, but who cares? Stuff just happens.
Stuff just happens on it. It just happened. Oh, no choice. They had another multiverse moment on last night's Evolve episode, by the way. I forgot. Jintala, aka the former Leigh Laurel, who on LFG, she made her debut on Evolve. Yes, we are meshing the world. LFG meets Evolve, C-suite multiverse. We're multiversal. It took Marvel like almost 10 years to do Avengers. How long we been doing the C-suite? We already got multiverse. Oh man, like nothing. MCU got nothing on the C-suite. Jin Tala, she got the win over Carly Bright. Carly Bright got beat down backstage by the mystery attacker who's been attacking all the women backstage over the last couple of weeks. So she took advantage and put her armbar submission. I forgot what they called it because I tend not to listen to Peter Rosenberg, but got the job done. Jin Tala in her debut on Evolve.
Who's going to be the attacker?
Maybe the attacker is P Nasty. We need all bunch of multiverse stuff. We need we gotta crossover. See, you had a Scarlet Witch in the Doctor Strange movie, and you had Black Widow in the Captain America movie. This is what we're doing. We're doing a whole bunch of multiverse stuff. So we have to have more LFG people on Evolve.
Okay. See it. All right. Anything else we need to get to?
Oh no, that's all the C level stuff I had. The excitement was too much for NA. I was only expecting. I thought after LFG was over, I was only reviewing one show. I had to review more than one show this week because NXT had so many C-level, C-suite people.
Then LFG is gonna be back in like 2 weeks anyway, so coming back very soon here.
Putting me to work here. What do you mean no love for Callie Armstrong? I've been bigging her up. You must be new, Will Chisholm. This is your first time experiencing the C-suite. I've already crowned Callie Armstrong as Jazz Belair or Bianca Jazz. She is a mixture of Jazz and Bianca Belair. She's a hybrid. She's great. I've even sold Jimmy Macaram. I gave him that description of Callie Armstrong. And he's like, I want to see this woman. See, that's how we do it. Callie Armstrong's great.
All right. We're going to get out of here early, folks, because AEW Dynamite / Collision Fighter Fest took you so long and it made you stay up past midnight with a 8-minute overrun. We're going to get you out of here early, everybody. SP3, anything to plug?
I will be live in about 10 minutes over on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. You can see me and Jimmy Macaram go more in depth about last night's Fighter Fest. Because yes, Jimmy Macaram watched the whole entire Fighter Fest. So if you thought I was not nice about last night's show, get ready if you want to hear someone.
Jimmy's definitely hated this thing. He 100% hated this.
He had to stay up till midnight watching pro wrestling. He is not gonna be pleased. Yes, he watched the whole show, and he's got some words for Tony Khan. So join us live in 10 minutes over on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel with AE Ramble. We'll be live there early at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Maggie will be live for our WWE AAA Worlds Collide / WWE Money in the Bank previewing both cards in Las Vegas for this Saturday. And we'll be giving you our predictions. Always fun when Maggie's on True Heel Heat.
We appreciate Maggie. Everyone can watch Maggie Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern, coexisting right here on the channel with Rob Wilkins. So everyone check that out tomorrow. I'll be back tonight, 6:30. Me and Steven Jensen, Spotlight. I will troll him about Cody because that's all I know how to do. We will be wrapped by 8:30 because there's important stuff going on at 8:30 tonight that has to take my full attention. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in tomorrow, everybody.
I might jump on tomorrow. That was my suggestion I wanted to give you, that we do like at least once a month, all three of us on the Friday show.
Okay.
I might jump on tomorrow just to annoy Joel and to interrupt him talking about TNA way too much, so we can talk about basketball. We can break
tomorrow,
down the game.
Tomorrow, like, depend. I don't know what kind of mood I'll be in tomorrow, SP3, you know?
Okay, I'll be on early if the OKC Thunder win. I'll be on later if the Pacers win.
I might not be on if I'm
okay. You could take the second hour off.
Can we just win? That's all I'm asking. Just win. OKC.
We got to give the people what they want. The people want a game 1 breakdown.
That's fine if the Thunder win. If the Thunder lose, the breakdown's going to be we sucked. The Pacers hit every shot. We can't defend.
No, you know this going to be if the Pacers win tonight, it's because they made a comeback.
Yeah, it's going to be some absurd. If the Pacers win tonight, I'm going to win a lot of money because I'm emotionally hedging the hell out of this series. I'm winning $5,000 off this series if the Pacers win this thing. So I'll quit this show with my retirement. I'm hedging so much emotionally because the Pacers are underdogs in every single way. So ain't like I got to bet a whole lot to win a whole lot. Yeah. Everyone keeps saying Thunder in 5. Everyone keeps.
I said Thunder in 6. That's my prediction. Thunder in 6. I got more respect. When the Pacers win one game, I'm gonna message my nephew, be like, "I told you. You said it was gonna be a sweep."
Yeah, Chase, I respect it, man. Look, sometimes you gotta just emotionally hedge. Yes, that's how you gotta go sometimes, man. I'm fine losing $5-10 if it means my team's winning. Someone asked me would I sacrifice. What was the question? I don't want to scroll up and find it. I don't remember who asked it. I apologized. I apologize too. Oh, here it is. I actually did find it. The Thunder wins the title, but you have to admit Joel is right for a full year. Do you take? Yes. Yeah, I'll gladly admit Joel is right for a full year. Are you kidding me? I saw a tweet. The tweet was because Oklahoma is also in like the College World Series or something. I don't actually pay attention to that. So, so someone was like, "Oh, would you sacrifice Oklahoma losing in the College World Series for the Thunder to win a title?" And someone quote tweeted that like, "Dude, I will sacrifice real people for the Thunder to win the title." I'm like, yeah.
He's like, "Hell yeah."
I'll sacrifice people I work with for the Thunder to win the title. Nobody on this show, but kidding me? I'll sacrifice family members. I ain't got that many of them, but I'll sacrifice them. I don't care. I don't see them that often.
Oh man.
SP3, appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye, everybody.